is that not a conflict of interest?
It's not a conflict of interest. There's been no indication of any conflict of interest from Ukraine or anywhere else. There's been no indication of any conflict of interest, any conflict of interest, of any conflict of interest from Ukraine or anywhere else. Period. I'm not gonna respond to that. Let's focus on the problem. Focus on this man. Focus on this man. What he's doing that no president has ever done. He's doing that no president has ever done.
The damn liar, man. You said the damn liar. The damn liar, man. You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
Do you think it was wrong for him to take that position, knowing that it was really because that company wanted access to you?
Well, that's not true. You're saying things you do not know what you're talking about.
To you.
Well, that's not true. You're saying things you do not know what you're talking about. You do not know what you're talking about. You do not know what you're talking about. No one said that. Who said that?
What, don't
Who
you
said
think
that?
that?
That no president has ever done. Anywhere else. Period. I'm not gonna respond to that. Let's Ukraine or anywhere else. Period. I'm not gonna respond to that. Let's focus on the problem. Focus on this man. What he's doing that no president has ever done.
The damn liar, man.
That's Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Yeah, baby. Mark's Conte. Morning. Joe Biden. Joe Biden denial. Denial Joe. All right. About this whole Burisma thing. Is it sinking his campaign? I don't know, man. It doesn't really matter because we've got overt, election fraud in this country. Believe it. Believe it. You have to believe it. Something's not right, man. I can't hear. Hold on a second. Oh, yes. Now I can hear. So Mark's Conte reporting. Good morning, everybody. We're going to talk about some the ways in which elections are rigged. Now, we know a lot of them. If you've been following this channel, you know all about them. There's the persuasion, the gentle persuasion by Democrats, but that's not really rigging. Is it rigging? Is it rigging when you're inundated with suggestions to vote a certain way? Is that manipulation? Is that illegal? Is that not fair game to be manipulated in a way to vote? We're constantly manipulated to buy stuff, right? We watch a commercial, buy the Acura, buy the pimple cream, whatever the fuck people buy, I don't know. And we're manipulated in that way. Is that election rigging? If you point that sort of campaign at an election? I don't know. It's a gray area for sure. But when you have institutions and establishments that are so powerful, so manipulative, and go one step further and manipulate the law, actually manipulate the people that make the laws, the Congress and the Senate and the executive branch, people that or judicial, right, are making up these laws, right? To allow you to be manipulated in an election. So is there election fraud? And then there's the clear and unequivocal cheating of when people vote, for some reason the exit poll doesn't match the actual vote. Right? When someone walks in and votes and then they walk out and they're almost, 99% of the time willing to tell you exactly who they voted for. Right? That's called an exit poll. It's very accurate. It's only like a 2% margin of error. Right? Not polling, not stupid polling beforehand, calling old ladies with rotary phones and asking them, you like John Kennedy, right? Are you going to vote for Barack Obama? I mean, Joe Biden? That sort of manipulation is different. But the other clear and convincing cheating is ballots being purged, people being purged from the rolls, throwing fucking ballots in the garbage, simply not counting them, leaving them in a warehouse somewhere. 2 million, 3 million votes, in the case of Bernie Sanders in 2016, where he destroyed Hillary Clinton in the state of California, and millions of votes weren't even counted. They already called the election. Dirty Democrats called the election for Hillary Clinton when Bernie Sanders most definitely won the state of California. So Bernie Sanders won that election in 2016. We know that. And this is election rigging. So why today does anybody in their right mind, anybody who's been paying just a little bit of attention, would they vote for the party that screwed them out of their man? Right? Orange monster, orange man bad. Really? Worse than what you're doing? Worse than you stealing democracy from the people? So that's what we're gonna. That's the short the short assessment of what we're going to talk about. So election fraud. Joe Rogan in the news. One of his cats, one of his tech guys got COVID. Oh boy, he's running for the hills, right? He is running for the hills, and COVID fear. That's what I was trying to say. COVID fear, the fear. Right? People inundated with fear is greater than the disease itself. Is it? Are we allowed to say that? Are we allowed to speculate that people are making themselves sick by fearing a deadly, oh, it's so deadly, you're going to die. You're going to die from the COVID-19. And it turns out it's only like sniffles. People getting the sniffles, like Trump. He got a little tired. Joe Rogan's guy got a little runny nose. Shut down the economy. Holy shit. You're going to fucking die. So that's the kind of shit we're going to talk about today. So Mark's Conte reporting. That was the Joe Biden, that clip right there. That was Joe Biden spooing. That was it's actually a Trump a Trump ad. Thank you, Bill West in the chat for bringing some of these clips to my attention, because I don't fucking do it.
The problem. Focus on this man, what he's doing, that no president has ever done.
You're selling access to the president. You're a damn liar, man. You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said?
It's a good ad.
Get your words straight, Jack.
Do you think it was wrong for him to take that position, knowing that it was really because that company wanted access to you?
Well, that's not true. You're saying things you do not know what you're talking about. No one said that. Who said that?
Don't you think that?
Ooh, there sure is a whole lot of evidence to suggest that Joe Biden is seriously fucking lying, right? Oh, Joe the liar, right? It doesn't matter, though, because he's got big tech leaning their finger on the scale. They got their thumb on the scale. Facebook, Twitter, Google. They're all plugging for Joe Biden. They're all fucking pulling. They're pulling for the dead guy. They're pulling for the senile guy, right? So it doesn't matter, right? That's a form of manipulation, but is it election rig? Is that form of tech influence? Does that qualify as election rigging? I think it does. I think it does because of their power, because they're influencing the public domain, the public square, for lack of a better term, the electronic public square that they control. So that it is a form of rigging. Does it work? Did it work in 2016? No, it didn't work. It failed. It totally failed. So that's can that form of rigging be overcome by you, by the people? I don't know about that. I don't know. It's getting worse. So we got to see, I believe that in a free and fair election in this country at this time in history, leading up to November 3rd, who would people prefer to have in the White House, Joe Biden or Donald Trump? I say the answer is Donald Trump. I think that Trump is clearly deeper in the hearts and minds and spirits of people than shit sandwich Joe Biden. For whatever reason you might decide that is the case. I'm not here to say right or wrong. I'm just here to say what I think, what my read, my feel on the ground is that Trump is the clear favorite. Now, the statistics don't don't match that because the statistics are designed by the corporate oligarchs, CNN, MSNBC, even Fox to some degree, Investors Business Daily, all of the pollsters that are pulling for Biden to win are fucking rigged. You can't trust them. Right? You can't trust them. So that's all I'm trying to say, man. I'm trying to say it, and I'm saying it in 5 different ways. Kindly become a Patreon of this channel. That we can agree on. Right here, by hitting the tip jar. If you hit the tip jar, you drop some money in the tip jar through PayPal or join through Patreon. That's how we do it, man. Like, there's no other mystery here. I had my B channel monetized, and I think it made like 50 cents or $1, and it just seemed like that channel, the B channel, is also shadow banned. What they do, I'll tell you how YouTube shadow bans it. They don't make the video. You can catch it live. You could go to my website and click on the link that I provide on daily videos and see it. You can subscribe to Twitter or Facebook and get the feed. But if you wanted to search it or be informed or belled, you hit the bell and be notified through YouTube, it won't happen, right? That's called shadow banning. I don't even know how people find me now, right? Because a lot of it is shadow banned. Some people get notified and others don't. And it should hit all your subscribers. When people subscribe, that you get. So that's one of the forms of censorship here to filter out voices that don't agree. See, I don't necessarily disagree. I just don't agree. I don't agree with the mainstream narrative, and so therefore I am a victim of a shadow ban to shut you up, hold you down through a million little glitches. One is we can't find this video until the day's up, till tomorrow. You're watching today's video tomorrow. Right? I'm talking. You're watching. You're in my yesterday. Right? You're yesterday for me. Right? Or you're tomorrow for me. And not yesterday. You're tomorrow. Right? And I'm speaking in your yesterday. That kind of shit. Right? Just fucking hold up everything. Man. It's fucking dope, man. So let's dive in. Kindly again become a Patreon of the channel. It's very helpful. Man. Fucking goddamn, it's helpful. What's this? What's this commercial? Oh man, look at that! Look at that room. Imagine that's a man's cave. That's a man cave. Look, it's got like umbrellas and fucking men's shit. Pizza. Yeah, man cave. It's got his phone. It's got his wallet. Yeah. So anyway, as a public service, we have to announce that the Senate will vote on Amy Coney Barrett's Supreme Court nomination on Monday. Today is Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Monday, and then amazingly, right? Monday is the 26th, and then only 8 more days from there, we have the presidential election. Holy shit, we got here, man! It's fucking amazing, right? It's only like how many more days? So 7, 14, 13 more days. 13 more days, and we get to pick another president, right? Do we really get to pick? I mean, it's fucking. It kills me to think that we don't have fair elections in this country. That it kills me to confirm in my mind that none of this is right. None of this is fair and just and for the people. But I guess this is cool. I mean, it's good news that the Senate will vote on Monday whether to confirm Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. There's very few sparks flew on that one. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch any of that confirmation shit because it's all nonsense. If it's a Democrat standing up, oh, she's a horrible person, she shouldn't be confirmed. If it's a Republican, oh, she's the salt of the earth. So we don't really know. It's all partisan. She will be concerned. She will be confirmed by the Senate. That's because of the majority rule. No Republicans are going to dissent, so they got 52-48 or whatever it is, 51-49 something. They got the margin, so they have the majority. So she'll be confirmed, and will Roe v. Wade go out the window? Oh, the abortion issue. I don't think so. I just don't think it matters anymore. I think that if you look at, for example, a lot of the judges, the federal judges that Trump picked in his tenure so far, have taken the job of federal judge and then flipped the middle finger at Trump, descended from Trump, or disassociated, or took distance from Trump. So Trump, although he has influence in who he picks, it doesn't seem that they actually stick with Trump. So I don't suspect that. I don't know. I just don't suspect that you're going to see laws like abortion in this country suddenly flip to the left. Or it's flipped to the right, whatever. I just don't see it. I just think it's just another pick, and that. But it'll happen on Monday. That's good. So what did I want to say? I want to check this shit out, man. Make sure we're streaming. Good. We're up. No red. Oh, wow. We're back on the A channel. Where the hell have you been? People are saying, where have I been? Where have I been? I've been on the B channel fucking talking every day, man. Covering shit every day. Where have you been? Where have you been? You can't even follow. You can't even follow A and B, right? Because of the censorship, right? We got to keep switching from A to B and B to A and A to B and maybe even C. Or maybe even the BitChute, right? Whatever, man. Just fucking MarcusConte.com. Just show up, and you'll know where we are. If you don't see me for a day or two, just, it's like your mother. Your sick mother doesn't call you. And what do? You pick up the phone and you call, right? That's all you got to do. Go to MarcusConte.com. You'll find me wherever we are, and you won't miss a stride, right? That's how we got to do this, right? That's how we got to do this in the age of censorship. So this is real. COVID-19 fears turning New York City playgrounds into war zones. Get your fucking kid away from my kid. He's got the COVID. Hey, man, put your fucking mask on. You're going to pollute. What are the masks for? You're getting this tension. You're getting this tension on the street in the cities. I see it because I walk around without a mask on constantly, everywhere, every day. I don't give a fuck, right? If you don't like me, get out of my way, right? You want to stay 6 feet away from people, and what are you complaining about? Get the fuck away from me. Stay 6 feet away. If you don't like, if you've got your hang-ups, I don't have your hang-up. I don't suffer from your illness. I don't suffer from your mental defect. So get away from me. If you don't like it, get away. Right? That's my answer. And there's a lot of people like me. Or there's people that are inundated with guilt, and they just take their mask down for a second. Oh, I got to take my mask down for a second because I'm thirsty. Oh, I'm so dry. I have to take a water. And they put their mask back on, and you see them out. You see them outside. You see them like this, and like. Right? They're sick. They're sick people, right? Fucking sick people. Right. So check this out, man. Wars, fighting in the playground. This is in Central Park, New York City. Lauren Conlon has seen her share of pandemic playground drama. Once, another mother yelled at her briefly, pulling her mask down so she could sip her iced coffee. Quote, I was 8 feet away from away, and she said, ma'am, can you pull your mask up? Like, there's a reason we wear them? I would be like, pow, I'd be, put that shit, fuck you. You got to be like that, man. You have to say, why don't you mind your own goddamn business, bitch? Mind your own fucking business. When did it become acceptable in New York to judge others vocally without getting a fuck you in your face? It hasn't been. It's never been that way. And why is this any different? Put on your mask, fuck you. Right? That's your answer. Right? Get 6 feet away from me, fuck you. You get 6 feet away from me. That's your answer. That's how you handle that. Right? Sneeze, yeah, I sneeze sometimes. Fuck you, get away from me. That's what you tell people, man. Don't take that shit. I was 8 feet away from her. Look, now the sympathetic, the polite, the victim. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I got to be gentle and I got to walk on eggshells because the Karen or the fear, the mother who's so inundated with fear has spoken. And I have to be gentle with her. No, fuck you. Get out of here. If you don't like it, stay in your fucking house like they told you to. Go put your mask on, get your house. Go home. Colin, a celebrity correspondent and host of the Red Carpet, told the Post, I didn't say anything back, but internally I was like, chill, Karen, I'm nowhere near you. No, you're a jerk off for not saying it, right? I didn't say anything back, but I said internally, get away from me. No, nobody fucking hears your internal jargon. Say it out loud. Let it come out your mouth. Let it come out your mouth. Get a fucking shirt with a big middle finger. All right, like this. Oh, you want to see my umbrella? I got one. This is what you got to do. All right, so here's the solution. Here's the solution. I got a solution to the Karen problem. Right? You don't even say anything. Right? This is what you do. Right? I'll show you what you do. And if someone tells you put a mask on, right? Especially if it's like a rainy day or something, right? This is what you do. Right? Check this out. You're gonna love this. Right? Fucking, you say, this is how you do it. Right? She says, ma'am, can you put your mask on? You say, well, it's a little windy out, so this is for you, right? I'm sorry. Did I block your view? I'm very, very sorry. I am so sorry, but this right here is for you. You walk around with that. You say like, you're just walking around. How you doing? Hey, how's everything going? Right? And some idiot tells you to put your mask on. You go like this. You say, this is for you, and this is for your mama. This is for your mama. See, that's the solution. Right? See, we're working in the solution here. Right? We're working in the solution, right? So you take that to the playground, right? Big fuck you. Right? Another time, a 7-year-old gave Colin's 2-year-old son a dirty look when the toddler sneezed. Causing kids to fight amongst each other. Fucking kid sneezed. He's too close. He didn't have his mask on right. There's no science behind any of this. There's no fucking science behind any of this. This is propaganda. Right? Meanwhile, they're touching each other. Their dogs are barking in each other's faces. Germs transfer all different ways. Right? Mostly not up your nose and in your mouth, but on your hands and your eyeballs. Right? So and what is the consequence? We're past the death and dying stage. It's guess what? Look up. Look at the president of the United States. He just got it. It's nothing. Most of us are probably getting it and not testing, and we get a little sick for a day or two. You cough, you sneeze, and that's probably COVID just passing through you. It's not a big fucking deal anymore. It's not a big deal anymore. So anyway, so people are fighting in the playground. Look at this shit. They're fighting in the playground. It was hectic. The kids were crawling all over each other to get up the slide with their pieces of cardboard, said Colin, 35, who lives on the Upper East Side, referring to the squares, regularly sit on for added speed. So the kids are playing in the park. The state closed public playgrounds on April 1st. When New York was deep in the throes of COVID-19. Yeah, but we're not there anymore. So mad hysteria. People are uptight. It's just like, chill out, man. Chill out. Or throw gas on the fire like I do. I mean, not all the time, but a lot of times. Throw gas on the fire. Have your fuck you, right? Have your fuck you ready, right? Whatever brand of fuck you have, just use it. Use the fuck you to your advantage. And get these creeps off your back. Now, here's Joe Rogan. Now, I'm a little sad. About this story. I'll tell you why. Because Joe Rogan is a hero. Joe Rogan is a hero of someone like me who does this. He found a way to permeate above, and he has the resources to advance his thing. He can relocate to Texas if he wants, and there's no big deal. And it's just paid. It's just everything's paid for. And I kind of. I don't know if it's envy, but I think that's. I see the the ease to which someone can do something like this when you have deep pockets and resources. And Joe Rogan, in my view, in this, he didn't handle it right. and we're going to see a video of him saying it in his own words. Now, Joe Rogan suspends production of Joe Rogan Experience podcast amid COVID concerns. Millions of people like this show. Right? Why are you suspending? Something massive must have happened. Why are you suspending the show? Right? Because somebody got COVID in somebody. So let's see. So let's watch the video in his own words because he puts it out. This is fair use, by the way, Joe Rogan. Fair use. You put it out, and we're fairly using it. Right?
Hello, friends. So we have a situation. Young Jamie Vernon tested positive today for COVID-19. I tested negative. The rest of the staff tested negative, but Jamie tested positive. He thought maybe he had a sinus infection or allergies, but he has COVID. We were off last week. The episodes that aired, we had previously recorded, so I hadn't seen Jamie in about 9 days. And he said somewhere around Thursday, this past Thursday, he felt like shit for a day and then started feeling better on Friday. And by Saturday, he was mostly over it. Today, he says he feels 90%-ish.
So he was sick for his tech guy. That's the guy that sits in a little room away from both of the, from Joe Rogan and the guest. He sits in his own little spot over there, like the Howard Stern show. And he was sick for a day. And that's what Joe Rogan said. Yeah, I just felt like shit for a day, and then the next day he was fine, and 2 days later he's up and running. It feels like 90%. Why are you shutting down the establishment? Why are you shutting down everything else? Why are you shutting down your operation because of it? Why, Joe? I thought it was a fucking. You see, it's mild, it's nothing. But here's the real answer, right? He's going to give it to you right now because of the law. Watch.
But it's COVID, so we canceled all the shows. We're happy he has a mild case, but we canceled all the shows. I'm keeping away from everybody and testing myself and testing the staff every day until we're in the clear. There's nothing we can do. So we're canceling all podcasts this week, and I won't know when we will do them again until we get a clear from the doctor. I think it has to be, I think it's 10 days and 3 negative test results in a row. So
10 days and 3 negative. What about putting someone in a separate room? Why not just, if you're so fearful, why don't you build one of those glass cubicles for the guy? You got money. Build a fucking cubicle, man. Get the guy in an infectious control room, right? It's not hard to do. You put him in his own room and you suck the air out the back. Right? Right? Put him in his own little sound room, or just fucking ignore it, you idiot. Have him remote. Have him in the hallway down the block, right? Down the hall. You canceled your show? Wow, Joe Rogan, what's up with that, man?
That takes us deep into next week. I don't know what we're going to do. We may do some shows remotely. We may do some shows with a substitute producer, which I really don't want to do, but we'll figure it out. And I'm
That's respectful. That's respectable that he doesn't want to do it without the guy. He doesn't want to continue without his producer. The kid is the guy. He's always in the cubicle, and it's a team, right? That's a team effort when you're in a room like that with somebody, right? And the kid came down to Texas with him. He's with him. He's his guy. That's his guy, right? And he's not gonna go forward without him. That's very respectable. But you're shutting down the whole operation. Millions of people want to see this, and maybe he just needs a vacation. Maybe it's a cop out, or is it something worse? Is he folding under the pressure?
happy that Jamie has a mild case. I'm happy that he's feeling better, but obviously this is a fucked up situation. My apologies to all the guests. My apologies to all of you. It's out of my hands, obviously, and I will keep you posted. Hello, friends. So we have
Pyramid 7 says he's actually heading to his bunker. Shit's about to go down. Yeah, you think so? You think that's what he's doing? You think Joe Rogan is retreating? He knows something. The oligarchs are about to squeeze the balls of the great American people, and shit is going to go down. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think people are used to. I think most people accept the fact that the elections are rigged and manipulated, and it's not going to really matter. You know, they want, you know, half the lunatics in the country want Trump out for a reason. When you ask them, they don't know. They just say they don't like him. He's bad. He's bad. He's bad. He's bad. He's bad. He's orange. He's bad. He's bad. You got to get rid of him. He's got to go. Trump and Pence have got to go. They don't even know why. Right? And you say, oh, well, he's in bed with the oligarchs. People. So Joe Rogan, sorry, Joe, we gotta turn a blind eye. We gotta turn away from you, Joe. That's not cool, man. You should go on. The show must go on. The show must go on. You're gonna be gone for a week with only 2 weeks left of the election. That's some shit right there, man. That's some fucked up shit. So the regarding fake polls, right? I look at the fake polls all the time. They're all manipulated, and nobody was right. Only one pollster in 2016 was right, and that was Investors Business Daily got it right, and every other pollster, 538 and Nate Silver got it totally backwards, right? All of the major polling organizations run all of them were wrong. They were all fucking wrong. Right? And the one that was right, a poll credited with being one of the only accurate national surveys in 2016, has found a sudden tightening in the race between Trump and Democratic challenger Biden. Great. Investors Business Daily tracking polls results released Tuesday have Biden ahead nationally by 2.3%. At 48.1 and Trump 45.8. That's national. So if you do that nationally, right, with the Electoral College, that would suggest that Trump would landslide the swing states. Again, I've always said, Trump, when you're watching and there's so many mail-in ballots, there's so much opportunity this time around to rig the election. We're not going to have results for the first time in history. We're not going to have, Gore versus Bush arguably was not, but that was a specific problem. We saw the specific problem in one state that was challenged. But here it's a very different problem. You have mysterious ballots, rigged ballots with holes in them and taped the wrong way and ending up in factories and ending up in warehouses and not being counted. There's so many loose ends to this election that we're not going to get an answer that night. We're not going to find out if Trump is the president or Biden beat him, right? And then and then through that manipulation, we may never know. So it's really unprecedented. If you think that's going to cause a civil war, then you could be right. You could be right. Is Joe Rogan heading down into the bunker? I like that. I like that thought. I don't know, but anyway, just a point that IBD, Investors Business Daily, had the shit right in 2016. They were the only one. In 2016, IBD's poll was one of the few to predict Trump's win, a shocking upset that caught most media and political professionals off guard. So right now they got Trump, Biden within the margin of error. I don't see it. I think, again, I think that Trump is the clear favorite. I think Trump has the hearts and minds of the people, probably, in the order of 65%. And I think that with the margin of cheating, that 15% cheating that the Democrats are going to do in every way. Here's what's very revealing. You remember when Cuomo in New York said, Andrew Cuomo, the governor, said, he said, we're not going to police the people to obey the COVID-19 stuff. He said, you are. Now you go to restaurants and you see a sign that says no more than 15 people allowed in this establishment, and under it says to report violations, and they give you a phone number. So what that tells you in the liberal states like New York and California is that under the governorship, under the leadership, they're instructing people to break the law, to rig the election, okay, you're a pollster, you're rig. It's okay. We're not. There's no consequence. See, that's what it is. That's how they're doing it. It's not. It's a concerted effort. It's a blanket effort to cheat, right? At every single angle, from the guy who counts the tickets to the guy who drives the truck with the votes in it, the guy who who counts the electronic stuff, every aspect of it is rigged. Is what I'm trying to say, right? It's a concerted effort. And the Democrats are giving cover. They're offering cover for it to happen. That's how it's happening. So IBD, we'll find out. So this is the most amazing thing. Thank you, Bill West, for bringing this to my attention. Knocking that skin off the ball there, Bill. But this is a conversation that you're going to absolutely love. And this says it all. This is the power of big tech. When you watch this is the good Ted Cruz grilling a very, very liberal left psychiatrist, very influential, important guy in the field of psychology, a devout leftist, a devout liberal, far from a conservative, right? Openly admits it. And watch what he says. Watch how the conversation goes. How Dr. Robert Epstein. It's unfortunate that his name is Epstein. Dr. Robert Epstein testifies about unchecked influence on social media. All right, so you would think that the liberal guy would lie and say that, oh yeah, there's that big tech has a little influence, but not enough to swing the election. But he says the opposite. So check this out. The whole fascinating.
I understand your background. You're not a Republican, and nor are you a conservative. Is that accurate?
That would be an understatement.
And indeed, you're the former editor-in-chief of Psychology Today.
Correct.
So you're a respected academic. You testified before this committee that Google's manipulation of votes gave at least 2.6 million additional votes to Hillary Clinton in the year 2016. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Wow.
And I want to make sure I understand. You personally supported and voted for Hillary Clinton.
I was a very strong public supporter of Hillary Clinton, yes.
So right away, you want to already hate Dr. Robert Epstein, right? He's in the pocket for Hillary. He's a bleeding liberal. It's 2019. He's yes. Oh yeah, I love Hillary Clinton. Even when they're cheating. But watch how it turns.
So you're not dismayed that people voted for her, but your testimony is that Google is, through bias in search results, manipulating voters in a way they're not aware of.
On a massive scale. And what I'm saying is that I believe in democracy. I believe in the free and fair election more than I have any kind of allegiance to a candidate or a party.
See, why can't we come together like this? Why can't we agree on the corruption? Right? Here's a bleeding left liberal and a diehard conservative Republican Cruz, two opposite ends of the political spectrum, agreeing on the corruption, right? Agreeing on the enemy, which is big tech, which is, you can argue that big tech is being manipulated by the politicians themselves, but let's just get to the fact that big tech is in a position to manipulate people. And I also want to say is this illegal? Is it illegal to use your influence in America to influence an election? Is it illegal to put your hand in your pocket and pull out $1 billion and put your money on one horse? The answer is no. It's not illegal. It's not technically illegal, but is it unethical? And does it become a constitutional issue of free speech and freedom of the press, where some people are so powerful and so manipulative that they're stepping on the throats of everybody else? That's really the issue.
And looking forward, if I understood your testimony correctly, you said in subsequent elections, Google and Facebook and Twitter and big tech's manipulation could manipulate as many as 15 million votes in a subsequent election?
In 2020, if all these companies are...
I said 15%, and Ted Cruz is saying that they're agreeing, these two guys are agreeing that big tech can manipulate 15 million people, 15 million sheep in this country to get off their ass and go vote. It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing. That's why you can't rule Biden out, because of the intense manipulation of sheep. That people are they don't pay attention. They just digest whatever they're told. It's scary.
Are supporting the same candidate. There are 15 million votes on the line that can be shifted without people's knowledge and without leaving a paper trail for authorities to trace.
Now, you described the Go Vote reminder, and you said it wasn't a public service announcement, but rather manipulation. Can you explain how? I'm not sure everyone followed the details of that.
Well, sure. If on Election Day in 2016, if Mark Zuckerberg, for example, had chosen to send out a Go Vote reminder, say just to Democrats, and no one would have known if he had done this, that would have given that day an additional at least 450,000 votes to Democrats. And we know this without doubt because of Facebook's own published data, because they did an experiment that they didn't tell anyone about during the 2010 election. They published it in 2012. It had 60 million Facebook users involved. They sent out a Go Vote reminder, and they got something like 360,000 more people to get off their sofas and go vote who otherwise would have stayed home.
Facebook manipulates 300,000 people to get off their ass and go vote. And who are they going to vote for? They're being pumped with the liberal, leftist stuff, right? So, 80% of them are going to vote for Biden, vote for Hillary.
The point is, I don't think that Mr. Zuckerberg sent out that reminder in 2016. I think he was overconfident. I think Google was overconfident. All these companies were. I don't think he sent that out. Without monitoring systems in place, we'll never know what these companies are doing. But the point is, in 2018, I'm sure they were more aggressive. We have lots of data to support that. And in 2020,
In 2020, oh boy, he's got a little nugget for us. In 2018, it was happening. And in 2020,
you can bet that all of these companies are going to go all out. And the methods that they're using are invisible. They're subliminal. They're more powerful than most any effects I've ever seen in the behavioral sciences. And I've been in the behavioral sciences for almost 40 years.
Our Democratic colleagues on this committee often talk about what they view as the pernicious effect of big money and big corporate dollars. What you are testifying to is that a handful of Silicon Valley billionaires and giant corporations are able to spend millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars collectively, massively influencing the results of elections. And there's no accountability. You said, we don't know. We have no way of knowing if Google or Facebook or Twitter sends it to Democrats or Republicans or how they bias it.
it's nice to see Ted Cruz actually doing his fucking job.
Because it's a black box with no transparency or accountability whatsoever. Am I understanding you correctly?
Senator, with respect, I must correct you.
Please.
If Mark Zuckerberg chooses to send out a Go Vote reminder just to Democrats on Election Day, that doesn't cost him a dime.
Fair enough. Do you happen to know who the Hillary Clinton campaign's number one financial supporter was in the year 2016?
I think I do, but please remind me.
Google.
The number one financial supporter of the Hillary Clinton campaign in the 2016 election was the parent company of Google, Alphabet, who was our first witness.
Who owns YouTube?
They were her number one financial donor, and your testimony is, through their deceptive search methods, they moved 2.6 million votes in her direction. I would think anybody, whether or not you favor one candidate or another, should be deeply dismayed about a handful of Silicon Valley billionaires having that much power over our elections to silently and deceptively shift vote outcomes.
Again, with respect, I must correct you. The 2.6 million is a rock bottom minimum. The range is between 2.6 and 10.4 million, depending on how aggressively they used the techniques that I've been studying now for 6.5 years.
Wow. Could you say that again, please?
The 2.6 million is a rock bottom minimum. The range is between 2.6 and 10.4 million votes, depending on how aggressive they were in using the techniques that I've been studying, such as the search engine manipulation effect, the search suggestion effect,
Search engine manipulation effect. Oh man. Oh, they do that? Oh, you think? Oh, Google. I thought it's a fair and free and search engine. Remember how it started? Oh yeah, search the web. Search the web for anything you want. Oh, now it's search the web for what we want you to see.
The answer bot effect and a number of others, they control these and no one can counteract them. These are not competitive. These are tools that they have at their disposal exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
If any headline comes out of this hearing, that should be it.
Yeah, man. Wow. Holy smokes. Thank you, Dr. Robert Epstein and Ted Cruz. Powerful, right? The power of big tech. But on the backside of that, how does big tech? Who's influencing big tech? Isn't the money? Isn't the politicians and Congress influencing big tech? I mean, they had Google, Facebook, Twitter at the judicial hearings and grilled those three fuckers, right? Grilled all three of the top tech companies. So there is a circular effect. Who's influencing who? But the fact is, the takeaway is that big tech has enormous power to manipulate an election. Government agencies like the Office of Elections in New York City that threw 200,000 voters off the rolls in 2016, that purged voters, or in California where millions of ballots were found to be uncounted and an election was called before the votes were even counted. These sorts of things, when you add it up, right, and or just the straight out election rigging the machines, flipping votes, where the exit polls don't match. How do you justify a fair election? How? Right now, flipping votes through a machine and manipulating some idiot sitting home in his house, playing on Facebook to vote Democrat. Right, flipping a vote Democrat, flipping a vote for Biden, flipping a Trump vote to Biden, or flipping someone's consciousness away from Trump to Biden is a little different, but you get the same result. So you see the power of the manipulation, right? That's why I keep saying Trump. You can't rule out Biden because of the extreme margin of cheating. Most people, common sense says, I see an old senile man who doesn't stand for anything, and why would I vote for this guy, right? But they do anyway because they're told, the orange monster, the orange man bad, right? So anyway, here's some more. Thank you again, Bill West, feeding me these. I love it. So voter fraud caught on live stream. So let's watch this guy. He's doing a little hanky-panky going on in the room. Let's listen.
And today on the internet, I'm going to show you this clip. Let's go.
And thank you, Mr. Obvious. Mr. Obvious, I'll subscribe. Thank you, Mr. Obvious, for your fair use of this clip. Thank you.
So as you can see, this guy is counting ballots. He puts one in the pile. But what he does next is, well, I think it says it all.
So he's looking around.
Do you notice that? Do you notice that, folks? How he looks around to see if anybody is watching him? As if he's about to commit a crime? Keep watching.
Oh, fucking, there's the pen. Oh, he's doing a little work on his own.
Boom! On camera. Now, I really don't even think I need to explain.
Now, what exactly is he doing with that pen, right? Everybody else is using highlighters. Why does he have a pen on the desk? He's looking around like a criminal. Right? He's a pollster, right? No doubt. Doing it live.
How self-explanatory all of this is. You have live from Yahoo Finance. Mail-in ballots examined before being counted in Germantown, Maryland. Okay? This is being shared on Facebook, I believe. I could be wrong. And, he's putting ballots, and he does something that no ballot counter or checker should ever do. Everyone else in the background is using highlighters. This guy looks around. He looks around. Is anybody watching me? And he gets his pen, which should not be there at all, and then marks something in the ballot. He could.
This is empowering people to cheat. You see what I was trying to say before? I don't know if I said it eloquently enough or clearly enough, but people like Andrew Cuomo in New York, for example, this is happening in Maryland. But in New York, for example, when people get caught doing this, there's no consequence. They're just they're doing something, and we'll look into it. We'll investigate. As long as it's going in their favor, they're empowering people to cheat. Because they're telling you, they're saying we can't do it, you do it. So there's so many aspects of the cheating. Here's one where one lonely guy is flipping ballots on his own, right? He doesn't like what he's seeing. They're for the wrong candidate, so he's changing them. Or maybe they didn't fill in for a president. Maybe they left he's looking at the ballots that are they didn't vote for president. He's filling it in with his guy. And then yesterday we saw Tony Yao's fine report. Thank you, Tony, if you're here. The report on holes in the fucking envelopes so that people counting the envelopes can see what's inside. Right? And other people in the chat have, in the comments of yesterday's video, have confirmed in the state of California that they have received absentee ballots with holes in the envelope where you can peer through the hole and see if the Joe Biden box was checked or not. And if it's not checked, then what? Maybe they check it from outside. Maybe they got a way to check it from outside the envelope. So many forms of election rigging. So many. These are just the new ones. This is just recent.
Could have changed someone's vote. He could have wrote in for a blank ballot. This is voter fraud, my friends, and this is a felony. Now, what I find really suspicious are the fact that nobody else is using a pen. He's the only one with a pen. He looks around before doing it, and
That's a good observation. Nobody has a pen. I don't see any pens.
Most of all, when the cameraman notices, he pans away, as if trying to hide the voter fraud that was just
Right. Why does the camera pan away?
exposed. Do you honestly expect me to believe that this guy isn't committing voter fraud? Only a place like 4chan would notice this. This video currently has 30,000 views. It is up on streamable.com, and because this is a big issue,
There's his pen, man. He's got his trusty little pen just to fill it
I'm
in.
going to leave it in the description so that maybe you can share it on Twitter. We can get some answers. Because as of right now,
And boom, he's using his pen. Pan away, get away from
I don't
that guy.
know what their policy.
So that was a good catch, man. Thank you very much, Mr. Obvious. Mr. Obvious. What's this here? Texas Attorney General charges 4 with voter fraud. More voter fraud. It's a compilation. Right? So it's just, it piles up. It's shit on top of shit. All right? We have fair elections. Yeah, integral elections in America. Yeah, right. Right.
First tonight, the Texas Attorney General has charged 4 people with voter fraud. The case is from 2018. It involves mail-in ballots and comes as Democrats push to expand the option, while Republicans claim it's ripe for abuse. KXAN's Maggie Glenn explores the merits of the case out of Gregg County.
Terry Miller says, libs think their cause is righteous, says Terry Miller in the chat. I couldn't agree more. That's what it is. They feel like they feel like they can do this because they're in the right. It doesn't matter if you cheat. Something happened in 2016 and we have to correct it. You mean Trump won the election? Elections have consequences to them. Rather than going so far to the left, something changed and Trump won. Right? Whether the Republicans out-cheated the Democrats, we'll never know. But nonetheless, Trump won that election and took power. Right? And your idea that by any means necessary, we're going to eliminate Trump. And why? What has Trump done to you? Absolutely nothing, right? He's just a figurehead. But look, if we need to get back to fair elections, we need to get back to a nation of the people, by the people, for the people. A nation ruled by the Constitution, by a Constitution of the people, by the people, for the people. The amendments, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. We need to get back to a country run by, the people's decision through Congress, through the executive branch, through the legislative branch, through, the courts. We don't have that anymore. We have where we used to have a constitution influencing the narrative down. The Constitution is above all of these branches of power, and they draw from the Constitution for their answers. Instead, the Constitution has been replaced with large corporations. That's who's calling the shots. We're going to make a law. We have to see what the corporations want. Who's giving us the money? Where's the money coming from? How is the fucking money flowing? And that has replaced our Constitution, and people suffer as a result of that.
There were 376 approximate disability applications or filing mail-in ballots in that precinct.
That's 364 more mail-in ballot applications than the other 3 precincts in Gregg County combined. And the
Counterintuitive says Trump won in the chat. Counterintuitive says Trump won because of interstate cross-check, a cheating tactic. Okay, I don't know that one, but I'm not here to say that only the liberal left cheats. The Republicans cheat using the gerrymandering laws. They probably, how have they held power in certain areas for so long? It's just the same style of cheating. It's like, they're not even going to do it. They're not even going to rely on one lone wolf in a room, filling in empty ballots with the liberal Democrat. They'll just take the whole truckload of Biden votes and throw them in the garbage and just not count them. Because in the end of the day, it's who counts the votes. It's not who voted. You got a whole room full of Trump votes and a whole room full of Biden votes, and someone comes out and says, Biden won. And how are you going to prove it? Because you can't push them. So just to that note, I don't think that the Republicans are innocent or radically more innocent, but they're both parties are very guilty. We have a very, very corrupt system and unfair elections.
The 2018 primary election.
70% of the mail-in box were checked as assisted by a third party.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton says that's what sparked the state's investigation and led to the indictment of 4 people this week, including the commissioner who won the election by 4 votes. The group is accused of targeting young, able-bodied voters to cast mail-in ballots by fraudulently claiming they were disabled.
We go interview these people and find out who they are and whether they really are disabled.
Paxton says voting by mail is more susceptible to fraud.
I don't know the exact number, but it is not unusual for us to be prosecuting mail-in ballot fraud.
The Attorney General couldn't tell us how many of those have resulted in convictions. Texas Politics Project Director Jim Henson says it's extremely rare.
If we were to take the number of successfully prosecuted instances of fraudulent voting and look at them as a share of the total number of votes cast in Texas, it would be 0.000. You'd have several zeros before you got to an actual number of the percent.
Voting advocate groups hope the case does not discourage vulnerable
I agree with that. You're talking about less than 1% in terms of voter fraud. Voter fraud, where voters are creating the fraud. It's not smart. It's not going to swing an election. What we're talking about is deeper. It's election fraud. It's the establishment doing it. It's the elected officials in the election offices all over this country that are manipulating the vote. They're not counting the votes properly. They're eliminating the exit polling so that people can't figure it out. It's election fraud. Election fraud is when the establishment does it. Voter fraud is when the voter does it. And even though Trump is screaming from the rooftops, voter fraud, voter fraud, voter fraud, he's got the wrong vernacular. It's election fraud. That's the difference. That's why you see Republican politicians come out and say voter fraud is a very bad thing in our country, right? And they never say election fraud because you don't know the difference. Most people When they hear voter fraud, they say, oh, the voters, voters, those Mexicans are jumping over the wall and voting. But they don't look at the greater number, that where election fraud, election rigging is when the establishment does it. Now you see massive evidence that suggests that big tech is aiding and abetting that whole process.
From trusting the system.
You know what your health condition is like. If you meet this definition, there's no reason that you shouldn't feel safe voting by mail.
All right, so there's a handful of people. The article, it's just saying that there's a handful of people that claim that they had a disability and they voted a certain way, and that's voter fraud. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Harry Vox on election rigging, mail-in ballot scam. All right, so let's go back to the rigging, the election rigging by the establishment. Let's listen to this report.
The U.S. House of Representatives is set to vote on an emergency bill this weekend to provide additional $25 billion to the struggling Postal Service. Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she expects to receive Republican support for the Democratic motion. Pelosi has urged lawmakers to, quote, save the post office from President Donald Trump.
Gene Burke says, Marcus, last time in 2016 you interviewed people in the park, how they were voting or how voted. Are you going to do that again? Yeah, I might do that, but I would suspect that my suspicion right away is if I go to Washington Square Park, this is enormously blue country. Right? People don't even know why, but I would suspect that you would get, if you did a survey, and I could be wrong, I probably should go out and do it just for shits and giggles, right? Put on a blue shirt or something and dress like a liberal, put my mask on, just walk around, say who you're voting for, Trump or Biden. I would say, overwhelmingly the answer would be Biden because of the reasons we're talking about, the gaslighting, the media gaslit. All Black Lives Matter think that for some reason they're getting a better deal with Biden than they are with Trump. But yeah, I did. And I did that, remind you, I did it in the primary election in blue country. Washington Square Park is the heart of NYU, New York City. And I was doing it during the primary. And people overwhelmingly broke for Bernie Sanders. That's what I was trying to prove. By, like 40% Bernie and the other 11 candidates, split the rest. It was overwhelmingly Bernie Sanders amongst the liberal left. Now, if you want to do a poll in liberal New York City and ask people who they vote for, Trump or Biden, you would clearly get Biden. If I went into the suburbs, like where I live here in Bay Ridge, it would be overwhelmingly Trump. Or if I went into the upstate New York or rural Pennsylvania or Ohio, it would be overwhelmingly Trump. Right? That's those types of polling are very easy to manipulate. Right? You just have to go where the liberals are, and they'll vote for Biden.
Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, appointed by Trump in June, has launched a cost-cutting campaign that has slowed mail delivery across the U.S. Democrats now fear that delays would hold up mail-in ballots in the November presidential election. Trump has repeatedly said mail-in ballots could lead to fraud without providing evidence. But Pelosi says Trump seeks to frighten people from mail-in voting.
What no evidence, providing no evidence? We have so much evidence. I don't understand why these idiots on these talking heads say that. You keep repeating that there's no evidence. There is fucking evidence. What more evidence do you need that millions of votes disappear in the state of California? 100,000, 200,000 votes purged off the rolls in New York. What more evidence do you need? What fucking more evidence, smoking gun evidence do you need?
The system is expected to be used highly this year amid the coronavirus pandemic. Harry Vox is an investigative journalist who joins us. So we're looking at what the U.S. House Speaker has said in terms of
this guy's interesting sometimes, Mr. Vox.
Hoping for a Republican support for this bill. Do you think that she's going to get that?
I think so, actually. One thing that I'll say about these mail-in ballots is that the Federal Assistance Commission reported that between 2012 and 2018, there was 28 million missing mail-in ballots.
What? 28 million missing ballots? What? Where are they? Where'd they go? 28 million ballots. That is election fraud. That is not two Mexicans voting that aren't supposed to vote. That isn't some lone wolf filling in boxes in an office somewhere. No, that is massive deception, massive voter fraud, not counting other people's votes.
So, I mean, that's enough to sway.
See how I said it? I even said a voter fraud. It's election fraud. It's the establishment doing it.
A presidential election for sure. And the state and local authorities there, this is a quote, they said they simply have no idea what happened to them. Now, Trump knows that this is a game of hardball that's going on here. The deep state is going to time the next wave of the pandemic to coincide with the November 3rd election. But you see, the normal cliffhangers that you would have with an election, where you have like Wolf Blitzer and all the idiots on CNN reading off the state by state victories and stuff, that's not going to be a part of the landscape. Wednesday will roll by, because it's a Tuesday election. Wednesday will roll by, and we're still waiting for Pennsylvania. The mailman was sick. And Thursday comes by. No, there's a fire at the post office at one of.
This guy's got his finger on it, right? You're going to see all this shit that he's talking about. It's all going to pan out the days after the election.
Trump's strongholds. On Friday comes by. The leak in the roof. Sorry, there's a thousand. I call them insertion points for an election to be stolen. The deep state will be like, well, we're going to pick up the ballots and then we're going to keep them in a room with us. But don't worry, we'll be watching over them at night while you're all sleeping. And then the next day, well, we won't give those ballots up. 60,000 of them disappeared in Florida last election in a truck. And then they found the truck later. Look, this is a game here, and Trump is doing.
Are you listening to this guy? Are you listening to him? This is how it's done.
What he can to fight back. I spent the first 20 years of my career fighting the corruption of the Republicans. The Democrats now are so vile. It's like the Democrats are the left hand of the City of London Rothschild's bank. The Republicans are the right, and Trump and both hands are choking, strangling every man, woman, and child on this earth. So, will the Republicans play along with Nancy Pelosi on this one? Maybe because they see there's some jobs in their neighborhoods, but it's hard to tell. I don't think that's the big question, though. The big question is you look at who's going to steal this, and it's going to be the CIA and the deep state and the NSA who are going to be working against it. And you always judge a man by his enemies. Well, Trump's enemies are the FBI, CIA, the deep state, the NSA. Well, that's everybody's enemies. Anybody who knows anything about realpolitik knows that it's always been the CIA who's been the enemy of every decent country seeking freedom and peace. Okay, they're Trump's enemies, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be stealing the election from Trump. So you make up your mind of who your enemy is. And I'll say this: I think the kinder, gentler strangling that you'll actually get from Trump, rather than the cold, fast strangulation you're going to get when the deep state has its way, when they put Biden and that horrible woman who's going to be the president, Kamala Harris. You're in deep trouble with that. So, and Trump's the enemy, we know, and Biden, I don't know, and the deep state, good luck with that,
That's good stuff, man. Whoa, Mr. Vox. What's his name? Joe Fox? Joe Vox. Harry Vox. Harry Vox of Vox News. Good, very insightful. He's basically saying that you want a fair election in America. Go, take out your fuck you umbrella.
Hi, Harry Vox. It's a pleasure to have you on Press News News Review, bud. Go ahead. Your initial thoughts on this. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is Israeli intelligence behind this whole thing. So I mean, if you leave that detail out, you're not
Mossad. He said the Israeli intelligence, Mossad.
Going to get to the crux of the matter. in as far as whether it's
I haven't got to say that in a while. Mossad has a nice ring to it, right? Israeli intelligence. They're Israeli CIA. Mossad.
a hoax or not. It's a man-made, man-perpetrated thing by the bankers in order to strip the assets out of the entire planet. As for the CNN poll, who cares what CNN says? It's a Jewish news network. I know they're making laws that say you can't say it. It's a 100% Jewish network. Okay, so you take that for a grain of salt. We must understand, polls don't reflect reality. They attempt to create and project reality. It's called like...
Polls don't reflect reality. They create reality. Right? Not exit polls. Exit polls reflect reality. But polls beforehand, opinion polls on who you might vote for, is very, very different. Those are exactly that. They create the reality, as Noam Chomsky has eloquently defined it as manufacturing consent. Manufacturing consent. Because if all people think that Joe Biden was winning leading into the election, and he loses, but they flip it to him winning, then people wouldn't really question that, because the consent has already been manufactured, is basically what he's saying.
In electioneering, they call it push polling, but the actual term is ideation, the projection of an idea that you hope that the target audience will adopt under the delusion that it's their own idea, like this previous guy. Okay. This is the process that sits at the core of the American opinion. Americans don't know what to think. They think whatever the scientists and the mind control personnel at the Jewish foundations and the Jewish think tanks tell them what to think.
He doesn't have a very high a high opinion of most Americans.
The American people right now are the target of the most diabolical scientific mind control techniques in the history of humankind. So when they do a poll, they're not measuring what people's organic opinions about this or that. They're trying to assess the results of the extent to which their mind control is either working or not. And then they either present those results or they don't.
That's done. That's all done in the Pentagon. What he's saying, all these think tanks, all these military think tanks, are really designed to squash opinion, right? And if you have an opinion that's outside of the box, what happens? You get banned, you get squashed. I don't know if I'll be here right through the election, right? I don't know if they'll come up. I'll get another email saying, "Oh, your video from a year ago violates our community guidelines, and now you're down for 2 weeks, or your account is deleted." Right? You never know. You just don't know. Speaking truth and I just, scary times.
Most likely they don't present it because a lot of it's failing, but what they will present is whatever reinforces the agenda of the bankers in the City of London, the House of Rothschilds, and all the tentacles that are right now reaching into every single man, woman, and child in America to suck every nickel they can out of the American people and to debase our dignity with these forget about cliches. You're going to lose your house. You're going to be eating out of a garbage can. You're going to be living in the street. This is the Rothschilds and all of the tentacles, all the foundations that are for the environment and for whales and dolphins and unicorns, and they're all leading back to one: money power. And the sooner we get to accepting that reality, the sooner we'll get out of this mess. Trump is way out of his pay range on this one. So he goes along with it because he knows that he's out of his league. He tries to do what he can, but it's going to be worse under anyone else. Who knows? But forget about cliches, man. The time to get to the bottom of it is now. This is about authoritarianism. This is about the installation of a totalitarian regime while the Rothschilds do their pump and dump operation like they've done every few decades in the history of mankind. Steal everything they can. That's what COVID's about.
And
that was a mouthful right there. What's this guy going to say?
Aside from that, Harry, how do you assess Donald Trump's job performance throughout the last 4 years leading up to this election, Harry?
In the beginning, I think he was authentic. He tried to do what he could to resist these forces that are inimical to the rights of the American people. He did his best, I believe. Okay, but for some reason, these last couple of months, I would say that he has to first dislodge Netanyahu's member from his mouth and begin the process of freeing ourselves from these bankers. But I'll say this,
I'll leave it there. Freeing ourselves from these bankers. Ooh. Oh, wow. Who told you that? Who told you that like a fucking year ago, man, right? Who's been saying that shit all along, man? I'm just some lone monk, right, from New York, right? I don't know what I'm talking about, but all the people, all the smart people, all the thinkers, all the people with their finger on the button, with their thumb, with their receptors open, all seem to say the same thing. Oh, it's the oligarchs, the banking industry, the billionaire class that is influencing our country in vile ways. So much so that we can't even have a fair election anymore because it's not economically feasible. We back our money is on Biden. And you better make sure this motherfucker wins, because if he doesn't, then we're going to take away the money. We're going to take away your gravy train if he doesn't win. That's really the shit. That and this right here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Vinny DiMartini. Thank you, Vinny DiMartini, on the bench. For your fine moderation. Weevil Girl is here. Gene Burke, Joe Green, Her Pooper, Walking Axel, Christy Workman, Chris Milk is here. Chris Milk, Joe Green, Pam J. Thank you all for joining the Colossal Big Shot. Thank you, Bill West, for feeding us the clips today. Yesterday was Tony Rao. Throwing in some clips. If you have any, look, I'm a lazy motherfucker. Mostly, no, I'm not lazy, but I like to. If you have clips and you think something good, right, that you think I might be interested in, you can always email it to me. Don't get carried away. You get a lot of email. I can't read all. And if you think you got something good and you think that I should be, I want to see it, put it in the comments too. You don't have to email it. Just drop in the comments and I read them all the time. I do that shit all the time. So take care of it. Take care, everybody. Be kind to each other. Take care of yourself. Go out and exercise. Eat well.